So it's Kevin Lee. I'm here at the Pacific Crest Conference with Ben Smith, the CEO of Merchant Circle. So I've got a couple of questions for you. The first is, for small businesses, where does social media fit into the marketing mix for them? How should they evaluate social media?
I think historically, over the last few years, search has been the primary driver for a lot of advertising for small local businesses. But going forward, the Facebook platform and the Twitter platform are probably going to be as important. When you consider the fact that Facebook will launch search engine soon, it makes it even more important. So it's going to be a place you have to be, and it's going to be a little bit even more complicated to deal with that than you deal with in the Google search world in terms of how do you get recognized and how do you get seen. The second, big driver is you really can't avoid it, whether you want to participate in social media or not. The fact is your customers are participating in social media and they're talking about you. There's very few companies out there who don't show up in a Twitter stream somewhere or Facebook status comment, etc. So whether it's good word of mouth or bad word of mouth, social media is going to be moving a lot of information around about you, and you need to see that.
One thing I hear when I talk to small businesses, a lot of them are sort of scared of technology. They're scared of the internet, but they do realize they need to be there. And they really have a difficult time deciding who to work with, how to pick a vendor, how to pick where their dollars go. You have any ideas for them as sort of how to pick where to be and where to put their money, how to pick a vendor?
I think they really have a fundamental choice to make in the beginning, which is whether they're going to do it themselves and take time to sort of experiment and learn and do their own thing, which in the end is much more cost effective, or whether they're going to turn it over to a partner. If they're turning it over to a partner and really going down that route of decisions, I think that they want a full-service, broad partner. I mean, assuming that they've got $5,000 a month to spend, you want someone who's dealing with Facebook, you want someone who's dealing with Google, you want someone who really is able to provide you a broad spectrum if you're going to spend the kind of money you were spending on the Yellow Pages before. If you're not going to spend that kind of money, you're kind of wasting your time because you're not going to get service from those guys anyway, and you're probably just better off doing it on your own.
So for those players who are trying to be one-stop shops within the small business community, you hear a lot about churn. Does that mean that they're not actually meeting the business's needs, or are small business owners just very fickle?
Well, I think there's really three drivers to that. One is there's a natural churn in small local businesses because they go out of business a lot, and there's a high correlation between people who advertise and go out of business, because people tend to advertise the early part of the business life cycle. So some of it's just natural. Some of it is that the market's not that developed and the providers are not providing as good a service as they should. And some of it is the fact that you can churn. You couldn't churn out of the Yellow Pages. It was very hard to churn out of the Yellow Pages. Well, and a lot of these areas you can churn. You can stop using them. You can use Service Magic and then not use Service Magic. You can, you can buy leads and not buy leads. So you can turn it on and off, which is one of the benefits of the internet for small businesses. It's one of the downsides of the internet for guys who run the businesses.